All right, guys, I'm A-Way, and this is A-Way The Shed. Today we got Tesla Chapman.
Yo, what's going on?
Yes, sir, man. Take us back. What was your childhood like?
Well, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, in a hospital called Piedmont. It's outside the city and shit. Spent the majority of my life in Atlanta. Stayed in a city called Jonesboro, that's in South Atlanta. Then I moved out to Henry County, that's a little bit southeast, I want to say. But yeah, then I moved to North Carolina about 12. Ended up coming up to Fort Wayne here because, you know, my grandma was sick and whatnot. I had to, you know how that go. But here I am now.
What were you moving around before? Was it just jobs, your parents' jobs?
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, me being a kid, you know, unfortunately, when it was just me and my mama, you kind of got to go where she goes. So, you know, it was just me and her for a good, decent amount of time. You know, my dad tried to do what he could, but he was still in Georgia, though. So, we moved to Georgia after, moved out of Georgia, rather. And, yeah, like I said, just wherever my mama went, stuck with her.
Was it tough traveling a lot as a kid?
I mean, yes and no. Like, I'd say yes, because it's like you get yourself set up, you meet friends, you get like that social network going, and then it's like you gotta uproot yourself and then start all over again. But no, because it's like you see different areas, you immerse yourself in different cultures. Now, mind you, I'm a kid too, which kind of helped, you know, with my upbringing, I'd say, because it's like I've seen a lot more. I wasn't just in a box. So I mean, it has its pros and cons.
Yeah. What's different between, let's say, Atlanta, growing up, North Carolina, and Fort Wayne?
Man, look. All right, so in the A, I'd say it's like the Black California. Black culture, everything is thriving. Really, like, everybody down there is cool. Like, you know, you got your races, it's the South, but for the most part, Atlanta is like an area where, like, as long as you, like, doing something, keeping money in your pocket, and you not just in the way, you'll be fine. Like, it's so much that you can do to, like, immerse yourself in, like, if you're interested in the arts, if you're interested in, you know, music, if you're whatever you're interested in, like, literally whatever. Atlanta's such a big metropolitan area, and I'm just talking about metro Atlanta. That's downtown. Atlanta's in, you know, the 6 zones and whatnot, but it's so much city and it's so much to do and so many people to see. And North Carolina's kind of the same too. It's a little bit more progressive than Atlanta.
When you say progressive, like, what? Isn't Atlanta more progressive just being Atlanta, or am I wrong in that take?
I mean, it is, but I'd say, and I'm this is when I was a kid. Like,
Gotcha.
I'd say Charlotte, because I was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Atlanta has like a good combination of like living styles. You know, you got your upper class, you got your middle class, you got your lower class. The area of Charlotte I was in, it was an area called Ballantyne. It was more like upper middle class. Like, I stayed in these luxury apartments called Atkins Circle, and it was right outside of like a little downtown of the city that we were at. But if you went to uptown Charlotte, they called it uptown. It wasn't downtown. Then you see, like, you know, all the other sides of it. So the area that I was in, I was kind of like where the money was at, per se. So seeing that versus Atlanta, seeing like all of that and not really immersing myself in all of what Charlotte had to offer, it kind of, you know, altered my perspective a bit, but nothing bad though.
And what would you say about Fort Wayne?
What would I say about Fort Wayne? Honestly, I would say the city is definitely developing. In the past few years, it's definitely been turning up. It has a lot of work to do, you know. I like to say Fort Wayne's a little bit behind when it comes to shit like, no funny shit, I don't know if y'all remember this, but we didn't have Uber for like a minute. Like, all the other cities, like Atlanta, North Carolina, all the other stars. I'm so for real, bro. Like, I remember 2016, back when summer was jumping and shit, we got Uber late as hell. Same thing with Uber Eats. Like, the city just needs to, like, look at other cities and see what they can do to kind of, like, progress through that.
Okay.
So, I mean, but the thing about it is, Fort Wayne has its benefits, too. It's like, it's a big city with like a small town mentality, and that has its pros and cons as well. Yeah. Like, the pros is like the camaraderie around town, like everywhere. Like, you can find like-minded people easily here, but at the same time, it's not that very many people. So once you find them like-minded people getting outside that box, you're still gonna see like the same people. So it's like, oh, I don't fuck with them, but I fuck with them. Okay, that's all you really gonna have. Whereas with a bigger city, you know, it's a mix of people. So. Yeah, man, it's just It's developing now. Fort Wayne's getting bigger. They're trying to turn the city up, but.
So you said 12 is when you came to Fort Wayne?
12 was when I moved to North Carolina. And then, unfortunately, my mama had a stroke when I was about 14. I think I was, like, going into... Yeah, I was 14. I was in 7th grade. Then a couple of years later, I think when I was 15, I moved up to Fort Wayne. I was in 2011. Went to Wayne and shit. Met my dog right here, Spitfire.
Hell yeah.
Met a bunch of good friends. But like I said, you know, me coming up here, I'm not knowing nobody. I'm already just got used to North Carolina. My mama got sick, so that's fucking with me. So now I gotta come up here. I'm in the mentality like I'm not trying to fuck with people. I'm not really trying to deal with niggas. I don't want to be here. I'd rather be with my cousin and shit. But, you know, met my friend Ben, met a couple people that, you know, had the same interests as me, and that made the shit more like easier welcoming into Fort Wayne. And not to mention, like I said, I have family here. You know, my grandma was famous here in town, Thelma Russell. She had the gingerbread house over on Pontiac Street. But yeah, man, it was definitely a culture shock though, because like I said, coming from a city where it's like it's the hustle and bustle, and then coming to Fort Wayne where shit's a little bit more slower, it was an adjustment process, I'd definitely say. But you know, just did what I had to do.
What were you doing, let's say, in school, in school extra activities? Like,
all right, so when I first got to school, when I first got to Wayne, what did I do? I did ROTC. I seen my good friend of mine, Aaron. He was in the ROTC program, and I was kind of interested in going into the military, but as I got older, you know, kind of fell off of that, but that's neither here nor there. I was in ROTC. Really shit, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if it wasn't ROTC, I'd stay after, you know, go to school, just do like the extra credit and shit. But I don't know, because like I wasn't really a sports person. Like, I skateboard, but like that's not necessarily a traditional sport. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it wasn't really much for me to do. So if I wasn't at ROTC, I'm kicking it with my guys and shit. I'm playing Smash, you know, just playing the game. But really, I didn't really do too much, bro. I was really just in the house. And like, you know, having a single mother, like, she's so overprotective of me, I'm not really able to go outside for real. You get what I'm saying, bro? So like, I'm in the house, I'm making music, I'm listening to music, like I immerse myself into music, which is why, you know what I'm saying, I do what I do today. But yeah, when it came to school, I just really was just, I don't know. I tried to be a fly on the wall, but folks ended up fucking with me, so hey.
What was your earliest music experience?
My earliest music experience. Damn, bro, that's a good ass question. I'd say my earliest music experience, I would always go over to my aunts and uncle's house when we would come to Fort Wayne from Atlanta. My Uncle Tap, I don't know if you remember back in the day, they probably still have it, but you know, niggas don't watch cable. It was a channel called Music Choice. Mm-hmm. They would have, like, you know, you could pick whatever genre, smooth, jazz, rap, whatever. My uncle would always have the old school jams on. And, you know, as a kid, I'm hearing that, you know, I'm listening to radio, Disney, shit like that. But, like, hearing, like, I forget what song, Art of Noise. The Art of Noise, Moments in Love. That I heard that shit instantly, lost my mind. I'm like, what is this? Because, you know, that's not a normal song, bro. Mm-hmm. So, like, hearing that, you get what I'm saying? It unlocked the door. So I'm sitting in front of this shit. You know, Music Choice had, like, the fucking... had like the little tidbits and the snippets about the artists and shit. And like I said, I love to read. Like, that was my biggest thing. So that's really when it started. Actually, no, I'm lying to you, bro. Well, that was the first song. But then what really like had me fall in love with music, my mama used to work at a goddamn gas station. And I got up one morning, she went to work and shit, made some cereal, was finna play the game. I cut on MTV Jams, and I shit you not, this is the reason why this man is my favorite producer one of my favorite artists to this day. That video for Can I Have It Like That with Pharrell came on, that and that car blew up behind him and he was just standing there. I'm like, hey, they had me at that point. So every day what I would do was try and go on MTV Jams, try and refine that Can I Have It Like That video. But you know how MTV was, you see one video, and back in the day, that's when music videos was the shit. Mm-hmm. So nigga, I never seen that music video again. But had I not kept trying to look for that, bruh, I wouldn't. That's when I first heard that Fireman by Lil Wayne. Oh, goddamn, Drop It Like It's Hot. I knew all the words to that in fucking third grade. Like I told you, after that, I fucked with Pharrell. Like I did that deep dive on that Art of Noise song. Same thing with Pharrell. And then my dad, you know, he would always love like Jay-Z and shit. So he see out like that. He play certain rap and whatnot. So yeah, man. If it wasn't for Can I Have It Like That by Pharrell, I'd probably be working at Amazon or something. I don't know.
What about making music? Were you being the artist before you became the producer? Both? What was your first experience in that?
My first experience with making music, when I was in North Carolina, I had, well, he's still my best friend, consider him my brother to this day. His name is Trey. We would always be on the phone playing RuneScape on the computer and shit, chilling. Basically what niggas do today, but we'd be chilling. He told me he found this one thing called Mixcraft. It was like it was my first time knowing what a DAW was, but I didn't know what it was. He said it was like a little music program. You could take the loops together, put some shit together. So I'm like, all right, I'll download it and shit, see what is going on. Ended up making a fire ass loop, not knowing what the fuck I'm doing, just from me hearing music and shit. I end up putting some loops together. I send it to Trey. He like, bro, this is good. I end up taking that shit to school. Niggas told me, damn, this beat's fire, bro. You really made this? I get to cooking up in class and shit, and I'm like, damn. So, shout out Trey. I'll tell that man every time I talk to you on the phone, if it wasn't for you, boy, man, hey, he'll watch us,
Now, after high school, did you try to do the military? Was it school? What was after that? What was your life like after that, immediately?
All right, I did try and go to the military, but, and it's funny, I'm smoking a blunt right now. My dumb ass, and I was smoking and shit before I had to go to fucking MEPS and shit. That's where you go to enlist and shit. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'll be cool. I done waited like 3 days or something, not knowing that it's a fucking military drug test. So recruiter called me back, say, oh yeah, you pissed hot, so you permanently